Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So I don't know if I've said this before. Sorry, my lips are dry. I need to put some lip oil. I always keep lip products by my bed, and I have a bunch of pimple patches on so I don't pick at my face. Don't judge me, please. We're gonna talk about dating because I was inspired by this TikTok video. Well, a couple of TikTok videos I just watched today. And basically, I feel like when it comes to dating, I feel like there's two things. So, there's two different topics I'm going to address. One is just being single and not dating for a majority of your life. Being someone who's like in your mid to late 20s, never having a boyfriend, never having dated anyone. And both of what I'm going to talk about applies to me. So I'm speaking from my personal experience, but also just watching other people's videos reminded me of it. And basically, I feel like for me, I am 29. I've never had a boyfriend. I've been on dates, but not like, I don't actually try to go on dates. I can explain that later. But I watched this video of this woman, like very beautiful, very pretty, very put together, and basically I think like I don't think being single into your mid to late 20s or even 30s, 40s, 50s, whatever is about something to be embarrassed of or ashamed of, because at the end of the day, every person that I know who has been single for majority of their life, it's because they typically have high standards and a high level of self-worth. Now, I'm not saying dating means you don't have those things. Just because you like going on dates does not mean you don't have high standards or you don't have high self-worth. But particularly when I see the people who are like, I've never had a romantic partner, XYZ, and this girl, like, I related to her video so much. If I can find it on my TikTok, I'll show it, because it actually was such like, to me to a T, me to a T. Oh my gosh, I've been trying to post this video on my TikTok for like the longest time. I don't remember what TikTok I was signed in. When I tucked my hair behind my ear, I was thinking of that meme about black girls who tuck their braids behind their ear. Don't come for me. I need to post some more TikToks. I definitely liked it. I've liked a lot of videos though. Oh, perfect.
I'm a 28-year-old baddie, and I've never had a boyfriend ever in my life. I have never experienced romantic love, and honestly, at this point, I don't think I ever will. Let's talk about it. Every once in a while,
Okay, so this was the video. I just wanted to show you guys it. I hope y'all realize when I say I saw a video talking about this, I'm talking about an actual video I saw. Because I feel like sometimes y'all think I'm making it up. And no, I really watched a video where someone said that. Like, I have no reason to make up, oh, saw someone say this. Like, if I say I watched a video and someone said something, I watched a video and someone said something. Ooh, your girl is thirsty. Oh, it's very dehydrated today. Okay, so let's begin. So that was the video that inspired some of it. So she's 28, I'm 29. Now she said she's a baddie. I don't know if I would consider myself a baddie. I can look put together when I need to, when I want to. But I'm not someone who's like super focused on just like, I need to have my makeup, hair done, nails done, whatever all the time. I can do that when I want to, if and when I want to, basically. I can be a baddie whenever I want, basically. And I choose not to care most days. But, anyways, I can be, I don't know. I'm not focused on that part. It was really just her reasonings, which I'm not going to play the whole video because I want to say it's like a longer one. But she basically said like she has high standards, and as do I, because I honestly feel like the caliber of men that I would date don't exist. And she also considers herself to be a hopeless romantic. I wouldn't necessarily put myself in that category, but I don't know. I did read a lot of romance novels growing up, and I do think like in a sense the romance novels can give you like skew your version of like your expectations of what you want in a partner. It definitely, I don't know, I wouldn't say it made my standards higher, but reading romance novels as a young adult, teen, whatever, definitely gave me like, I don't know, it takes more for me to be impressed, I would say. Like when you read romance novels, you understand. So anyway, she said that, and then she also had an example and watched how her dad treated her mom and things like that. Now for me personally, I would say my standards are high mostly because of like character things, but also I think in general it's just hard finding, in my opinion. Well, I'm not going to say it's been hard finding because I'm not looking. That's the main thing. I'm not looking, but I feel like I don't see a lot of men that are up to the standard that I would consider dating. But I'm also not like, I'm not really around that many people like that. And I feel like the one people that I have been around have not been the best examples. And I also feel like when it comes down to it, there's a difference between being lusted and being loved. And I feel like I've experienced lust from men majority of my life, and I know the difference between lust and love. So if I can tell someone's interest in me is mostly lustfulness, I'm not flattered by that and I don't care about that. And it's hard to find men that don't lust after women that actually respect you. Now, I want to say I feel like I might have that struggle more because of one, my weight, being plus size, being bigger, being larger. This is just like a reality that well, this is what I'm going to say. It's an assumption, but also reality check, because I've been overweight most of my young adult life, but also, um, I have like a curvier shape. So I don't know, it's like two things. Like, and I also feel like from a younger age, being curvier got me more of that sexual lustful attention that I did not like, I did not want, and I did not ask for. And I feel like that's also tainted how I view men in a lot of situations, because being lusted over is not something to celebrate, in my opinion, at least. As a woman who is not seeking that, does not care for that, being lusted over by a man is not something that boosts my ego. It really just makes me feel like an object. Like, I don't appreciate that type of attention from any man. And so I feel like that's what I've gotten received the most from men in my life, and that's basically turned me completely off from a lot of things and men in general, but it doesn't mean that I have like an overall negative view of men, because I do still think there's like good, decent, respectful men out there that are gentlemen and treat women with respect. But I feel like those types of men are rare to find. And also they're not the majority of men. I wouldn't put the majority of men in that category. I think every man, though, is capable of living up to their standards. Those standards, they just don't have to. You know, there's so many women that that can be desperate for a relationship to the point where they're settling. And that was another big thing that creator brought up. She's like, I refuse to settle. And same, anytime I've tried to settle, it didn't work out anyways, because I'm like, I can't force myself to like someone I don't like, and I'm not gonna be in a relationship with someone just for the sake of being in a relationship. Because I've said it before and I've said it again, like, if I really wanted a relationship, I could fake feelings for someone just to say, oh, I have a relationship, oh, I have a boyfriend, XYZ. But it's not about that for me. Like, I don't care about just having a boyfriend. Like, if I'm dating someone, I want it to be someone I'm genuinely interested, like, who appreciates, respects me, all of those things, and is someone that is a standard type of person, meets the standards of the type of person I would want to date and I could see a future with. So I'm not going to date just anyone. We're not going to do that. So that's the first part. I think a lot of women who have been single their whole lives or most of their lives, or have dated very little, which is my category, is because we have higher standards where we refuse to settle, and we're probably just not around the type of men that we're actually interested in. For me personally, and we're not seeking it out. I feel like if I was chasing after a man or having a relationship, I would drive myself crazy, because it's just like, I'm not male centered. I'm not male centered. That's the other thing. I feel like just getting attention from a man in general is not enough for me to like you. Like, a man can show interest in me. It doesn't change how I view myself, and it doesn't I don't know. I'm not living for the attention of men, if that's like the best way to put it. And if you've ever experienced or know someone who's very male centered, like who prioritizes having men or having a man in their lives, and I'm not saying like just someone who dates and talks to guys or whatever, like I'm talking about this extreme person who's like always needs to have someone interested in her, like will always will cut off you off to make room for a man. Like, I heard someone share a story time. It's like they're not the types of friends you want, because they'll put you in dangerous positions trying to prioritize a man over your friendships. And I have actually had friends like that in the past that did that exact thing. I felt like I was put in a dangerous situation and I did not appreciate it. So anyways, you don't want to be friends with someone who's very male centered, who's prioritizing the attention of men over like having a genuine friendship, or just like, is always seeking male attention, male validation to feel good about themselves. That to me is a sign of low self-esteem and insecurity in themselves, because they're seeking that validation from men in order to feel good about themselves. That's something that is important to understand about women that are labeled pick-me's or male-centered. They often have low self-esteem. They seek out validation from men in order to feel good about themselves, because they don't feel good about themselves without it. And that's why they center men and having male attention, because they're seeking that validation, because they're insecure at the end of the day. Insecurity seeks validation. Someone who's secure in themselves does not need validation from other people. to feel good about themselves because they know their worth with or without those people or that attention. So I'm secure. Am I and I have high self-esteem regardless of what people think about me, of me, whatever. I'm not seeking out a man to feel good about myself. So that's the first part. The second part is dating, how I feel like dating as a plus size woman affects me, because I do think it affects me in a sense of, even though I'm not, like, my standards that I hold, like the first part of this, those don't change, like, right? Just because I'm a bigger woman, whatever, plus size, doesn't change like how I view myself, my values. But other people are gonna view me differently. And so that's the part where I'm talking about how being overweight, plus size, affects my options in a sense, but not in a way that it's going to affect how I date, because at the end of the day, I'm still secure. I'm not seeking validation. So someone who views me as less because of my size is not going to affect me, right? Because they were never someone I would have considered as an option for me. Like, they were never an option for me the same way I was never an option for them. Because I'm not going to seek the attention or validation of someone who sees me as less than because of my weight, because of my size, whatever. Like, you're not an option for me and I'm not an option for you, so why does it matter? I'm not going to I'm not going to seek out people who don't want me. That's just quite like the most obvious. But I feel like it can feel harder, it can seem harder to be confident when you are plus size, when you're overweight, because there is this big narrative of men who literally demean and belittle women for their size, and who think it's okay to talk down and treat them less than. Like, there's a sector of men that think a woman being plus size makes them less than, and they also lust over those types of women and fetishize them and all of those things. So, like, I watched another video of this plus size curvier woman, and I'm like, first of all, being plus size or overweight does not mean someone is ugly, does not mean they're unattractive. So hear me when I'm saying this. I'm not saying being bigger makes you unattractive. There are a lot of beautiful plus size women, curvy women that exist in this world. Fat does not equal ugly. Just point blank, period. But there are some men who believe that is true, that fat equals ugly, and they will treat women who are plus size curvy as if they are ugly, even though that's not the case. So anyways, she was talking about how her dating experience has been horrible because she's used to men that are only interested in her for her body. They just want, sexual things from her. And it's mostly like she's being lusted after, which I've already made it very clear in the beginning of this video. Like, a man lusting after me is not going to do it for me. It's actually going to make me lose complete interest, because I received a lot of that type of attention already. I know what it is. I know I don't like it. I don't care for it, and I don't tolerate it. So if I sense that I'm being lusted over by a man, that's like an immediate red flag. But also, it's not something that I seek out or care about. So that type of attention is not going to move me. But for someone who is, if you are, not secure and you're still seeking that male validation to feel good about yourself, you're going to get that attention and think that means someone likes you. And I feel like that's why it's important that you establish your self-esteem prior to dating, because you're going to find yourself in a situation when people who seek male validation, they're not filtering the attention. They are taking all the attention that they can get and to use it to validate them, to build their self-worth. And so they fall victim to a lot of manipulative, narcissistic men, narcissistic, abusive men who literally will try to use that against to their advantage. But I'm also not, I'm not dumb. So if I can sense someone's intentions. I also can gauge like if someone's really interested in me or not. And I feel like what I have found is that I don't feel like anyone is actually that interested, and not in a, how do I say this? There's been people that have showed interest, but it's not interest that is intentional, and I guess that's the best way to say it. Like, I feel like if someone who's truly interested, I don't know, the best way to say it is just like intentionality matters to me more than anything. And I feel like a lot of men are not very intentional. They're just gauging. And it's like, I don't want someone who's just testing the waters. I'm just okay for right now. And that was kind of like the last had talked about this situation a little bit, but basically was talking to someone that I had been on a few dates with in the past, and I just came to the conclusion they're really not that interested. If they were interested, I wouldn't be questioning their responses, and I wouldn't feel insecure in as far as, oh, like, I can't tell. Like, if I have to question if someone's interested, that means they're not. And so basically, if a guy is truly interested in you, you're not going to be questioning it. You're not going to be like, oh, I can't tell. Like, you can tell. They will make it known. They will try. They will put effort, intention, all of that stuff in. So if you're not receiving the type of attention, attention, and you're always questioning, are they interested? They're not giving me that sort of thing. Like, they're letting you know they're not that interested in. When you're interested in someone, I mean, unless you're someone who likes to play games, you are going out of your way to talk to that person. You're finding ways to talk to that person, excuses, right? So if someone's avoiding all conversations with you, why would you assume that they are interested in you or have intentions of getting to know you? Like, they literally are not putting in that effort. And typically when someone's doing that, they're using you as a placeholder. They're not truly interested in you. It's just like, I'm kind of interested. I think we'll just see where it goes type thing. And you don't want to be that. You don't want to be a placeholder until that person finds someone better. So that's what I mean when I say, like, intentionality matters. Like, just because someone shows a little bit of interest, if it's not intentional interest, it's not relevant to me. But anyways, I don't know. I've just come to the conclusion my dating life is not a priority for me right now. As you all may or may not know, I'm in the process of moving. I just started a new job. Also trying to get back on my fitness journey. And okay, the other thing I want to say about, like, my weight and everything else, I always have felt this too. I feel like regardless of my size, my standards are not going to change. But if and when I do decide to lose weight, like I said, I've made videos talking about my weight loss journey, my fitness journey, all of that other stuff, like, in separate videos. And basically, when it comes down to it, me losing weight is for myself, not for the attention of other people. Like, if I'm trying to get in shape, it's for myself. It's not to impress other people. I also am aware that there are people that losing weight, it will affect how some people view me and treat me. And that's a sucky thing to know, that, you know, people will sometimes treat you better or worse based off of your size. Specifically, men will treat skinny women better. And that's something that I'm aware of in a sense. But that's why I'm saying, like, the way my standards I have for men is like, I'm not looking for someone who's focused on that type of thing regardless. So regardless of my size, it doesn't change my values or my self-worth or my standards. So it's just like understanding that the type of person that I would want to date would love me regardless of that. And I feel like that's why my weight is not a factor for how I feel about myself or my standards or my self-esteem or how secure I am, because whether I'm fat, whether I'm skinny, whether whatever, I want someone who loves the person I am on the inside, and I also want someone who values the quality, like my other qualities, like characteristics, personality, how I treat people, things like that, my heart, my mind, my intelligence. You know, it's like more than just focused on physical, superficial things. Anyone can learn how to do makeup. Anyone can get their hair done, have their hair styled, learn how to dress, learn how to do their makeup. You know, like the superficial aspects of people. I can lose weight, you know, like that's not the most important thing about me, the outside. And so when there's people that I feel like are mostly focused on that with me, I do kind of lose interest as well, because it doesn't come off to me as sincere. And I also am not really moved by compliments that are just very physical appearance or come off as very superficial, vain type things. And I'm not saying like I don't like compliments about my looks. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying the thing I value the most about myself is not the things on the outside, and therefore compliments that are the most meaningful have more to do with my character, my values, my intelligence, things that are like that are important to me. So yeah, that's all I'm gonna say, and I will see y'all in my next video. Mwah. Bye guys.